Today's session will be on how to create hierarchies, how to create set, how to create groups, and how to work on filters. Let's take this sample superstore. In the previous session, we saw how to create folders. When you see this, I'm getting this folders here. So what folders will do? It'll create a placeholder where I can keep all my say fields in that which are related, so that it will be easy for me to drag and drop for creating the reports or visualizations. But let's take one more way of grouping, or say keeping your columns, something which is called as hierarchy. Hierarchy means what? Say it will have some levels. Let's go to this order. Here I have this order ID. Let me drag this order ID and I'll put it here. And we saw this in the previous session. See, I have a plus mark here. I will click on this. See, I'll get the quarter. Next, if I click on this, I'll get the month. Let me click on this. I'll get day. So we saw this. If you don't want this, I'll just remove this. I'll get this quarter, and then remove this. I'll get the quarter day type. Let's take one more example here. We'll go to this location. I'll just remove this hierarchy and we'll remove this product. Let me create one report like this. Say I'll take country, then we'll take region, then we'll take state, we'll take city, and then we have this postal code. So this is my hierarchy where I'm creating the report here. Let me take the sales and I'll put it here. So I'm getting the results based on this country, and then again region, then again state, city, postal code. If you want to create an hierarchical report like this, I have to drag and drop all the columns like this. Instead, what I can do is I can create something called as hierarchy, which is similar to your folder, but there is some difference between a folder and hierarchy. I'll show you what are those differences, but first we'll see how we can create these hierarchies. Let me take out all this. Say Alt Shift Backspace will remove the complete entire whatever the selections we have done. We'll go to this dimension tab here and right click anywhere on the fields to create the hierarchy. Let's say I'll take this country, right click. Here I have something called as hierarchy. It says create hierarchy. Here I don't have any hierarchies which I've created. In the previous session we saw how to create these folders. Where we have the folder, then I can add the folder. Similar to that, I can create this hierarchy. I'll say create hierarchy. Here it will ask for the hierarchy name. I'll say location and I'll say okay. See, if you see this folder, I have a kind of folder icon here. When I create location, I can see a hierarchy. Can you see this? The hierarchy icon here. If I click here, see, I have this one field which I used to create this hierarchy. Now to add more say fields for this, let's say next I want to take this region. You can just drag it and you can drop it. See, or right click and say hierarchy. Say add hierarchy. Say click on the hierarchy where I need to create. Where I have to move this field. See, fine. Have this postal code. Let me drag and drop. Then I have one more, that is city. I can drag and drop it. Fine. If you see this in folder, what will happen? It will sort. That means it will sort according to the alphabetical order. But in hierarchy, it will not sort. What will happen is the levels, whatever is there, I can decide here. That is called as hierarchy. If you see, I have this country, next I have this region, then I have kept it as city. Let me take this country and I'll drag and drop here in the columns. See, now I'm getting that plus mark. Previously I was not getting that. I have to but I had to take all the columns, I have to place it here. But now if you see this, I have a plus mark. If I click on this plus mark, see, now I'll get this region. Now the level what you have placed here, the same level, that will get expanded here, see. Now I need to change the order. So what you have to do, just go here. Say for example, I want the state to come on top, drag it and move it. Now if you see this, still it says city and state. Now just click on this region. Now click here. See, now I'll get this state. Previously, when I click on this, I was getting city. Now I'm getting state. Now if I click here, it will come to city. You can remove it. See, I don't want this country. I don't want this state. I want this city. See, I want only region. You can keep it like this. But still you can see the plus mark. Click on this. It will move like this. Let me remove this. This is hierarchy. Hierarchy means it will create a levels where I can create the reports instead of dragging and dropping multiple times. I can just create one hierarchy like this. Whenever I want, I just drag one of the fields and it will follow with the next hierarchies. Now say I'll take this state and I'll put it here. See, I'll get the next level like this. Remove this. Remove this. See, I can remove this like this. Always make sure that when I'm creating a hierarchy, the levels what you're having, it should be in proper order, because this will not sort. You have to sort it, or say you have to arrange it. Let me take this postal code, and suppose if it is like this, see, country and postal code. If I take this country and if I click on this, see, immediately I'll get the postal code. So here you should be very careful because you are actually creating this hierarchy. So let's say I don't want this postal code. Right click, and here if you go and say here I'll have this remove option, or just say delete. It's that delete, remove from hierarchy. See, it will get removed. I don't want this region to be here in this, remove it. Suppose if I don't want the complete hierarchy itself, see, now let's say I'll take this region, let me put it here. I'm creating one hierarchy here. See, hierarchy is available. Now right click and say remove hierarchy. See, the plus mark will go. So you have to decide whether I need the hierarchy or not. If you are creating the hierarchy, make sure that you're not deleting it, because you have already created a report out of it. You might miss something like this. So whenever you are creating hierarchy, you should be very careful how my flow has to be aligned. If at all you're not aligning, also not a problem, but you might get the result. Say the expand, so we call it as expand or collapse. In the expand, I'll not get the proper fields in the next level. Okay, so hierarchy is not a very big topic, but yes, it will play a very important role in the coming sessions. That is, when you are using these filters, when you are creating a filtered reports, that will play a very important role. But what I'm telling is, when you are actually creating a hierarchy, make sure that you will have a proper aligned, say, fields, or say you are having the levels properly aligned. Otherwise you might end up with, improper results. I'm not telling wrong results. Say it might give you some results that it will not give you the desired results. Let's create again. Right click and I'll say hierarchy, create hierarchy. It lasts for the name, giving the name, then I'm just dragging and dropping it like this. You can drag and drop, or you can right click and say hierarchy, add to hierarchy, say location like this. Take this postal code and I'll put it here. Now if you want, you can rename this. Say for example, I have this location, see here. I can drag this completely and it will come, all these levels will come. Suppose if you want to rename this, right click and here I have rename, and you can rename this as well. Let's say like this. You can rename this as well like this. Right? Okay, this is hierarchy. Next is, we'll see how to create groups. Minimize this. Grouping. First, let's understand what is group. Group means combining. So what will happen is when I'm creating a report, let's assume that I have 10 companies. In that, 3 companies are making profit in crores. Next 3 companies are making profit in lakhs. But the next 4 companies are actually doing very less profit. That is, they are into some hundreds or say thousands, which is way far lesser than these 6 companies on top. Now, when I'm actually creating reports, these 4 companies which are there in the bottom, they looks very small, or they're not able to see any values also in that, or we cannot plot the reports also in that. In that case, what we'll do is we'll combine all these 4 companies and make it as others. That means I'm trying to combine and make one report out of these small values. So that is called as grouping. Let's take an example like this. Let's say I'll go here. I will take this region and I'll put it here. And then I'll take the sales value and I'll put it here. Or we'll take more, categories. We'll take this subcategory that will have more levels. Yeah, see, let me swap this and I'll sort this. Yes, see here. Let's say all these are very bigger values, and if you see the last, say this fasteners or labels, let's assume that these 5 are very less values which cannot be compared with the other top, say, subcategories. I want to combine this. If I want to combine this, what I'll do, there are different way of working on these groups. One is I can group it by dimension, that is this one. That is what we have, this. These are the dimension. You know that dimension is labels. Other one is I can group by measures here like this. These are the measures. So this way also I can group. Apart from this, I can also group by the dimensions, what you see here, by the members. That is, directly without going to this visualization, I can still take the value from this columns and I can group. I'll show you all the ways. First, what we'll do is we'll see how we can group it by measures. So what I've done here, I have this plot which I've created, the chart. Let me select this. See, when I select this, only that value, whatever is there for this fasteners, will be selected. Now let me hold Control and I'll click here. Then I'll click on this. I'll click on this and I'll click on this. So what I've done is I've clicked, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 measures, and just move your cursor somewhere here closer. You'll get one dialog box like this. Can you see that? Just move your cursor like this, automatically it will come, or you can right click as well. Anything is fine. See, again I'll show you. I'll just go here, move my cursor, I'll get one dialog box, or you can right click. Anyways you can do. I'll show you both the ways. See, I'll move my cursor, I'll get here. Can you see this? Here it says group. This icon, what you see, paper pin kind of thing, this is called as group icon. Click on this. Once I click on this, I'll tell you what all changes will happen. I'll click here, a group is created, and if you see in my dimension tab, there is one group called as subcategory groups. See, subcategory group got created, and you can see the icon here. This is not a data type. Now we actually understood data type in the previous session, that is, we have say string or number or the geographic or true or false or something. But if you see, I have one group icon here, so this actually shows that this is a group. Let me rename this. Right click and I'll say rename. Here I'll say group dimension, so that it will be easy for me to know the difference between these things. See, it is here. Fine. Let me remove all this. Now again I got the same chart. We'll keep it aside, this one. Now we'll try to create a group based on the dimension. Now what I'll do, select this and I'll select this, select this, select this, select this by holding Control. Same thing what I did for these measures, I'm using this for dimension. Now let me move my cursor here. Again, I'll get similar kind of dialog box, or I can say right click. So when I right click, I have this group here. Or if I move my cursor here, let me select this again. See, I'll move my cursor here. I'll get this icon. So I can click either here, or this time we'll just go here, right click and say group. See, I got this group. Right. Let me rename this. Right click and I'll say rename. Here I'll say group. Sorry, this is dimension and this is, rename this measure. Sorry, measure, and this one rename dimension. Okay. So we have two groups now. Let me just remove all this. So I have this group, a separate column will be created wherein it will take all the grouped values in this. One is by measure, one is by dimension. I'll show you the difference between all these, say, groups. Let me take the subcategory, just observe, and I'll take this sales and I'll put it here. Let me snap this, I'll sort it. See here, I'm getting the normal chart here. That is, this is what we created in the beginning. Let me remove this subcategory. Just observe. I remove this subcategory. I'll take this measure which I've created, that is a column which got created, grouped by measure. Take this and I'll put it here. Just see what will happen. Can you see this? I have only two values now. One is the one which I grouped. Other one is rest all, whatever was there, that got grouped here. Let me remove this. I'll take this dimension and I'll put it here. See what happened. Let me sort this. See here, I have one group. Here the value, now it has become 1,05,000. That is, all the five say members, whatever were there, they got grouped, and I'm getting the values here. So when I group, I have to think how the grouping should happen. When I'm grouping by measure, so what will happen is it will take all the value. See here, all these five members what I took, that has taken into one one say member. It says 1,05,779. Rest all the other members whatever there, that will get grouped and will give me this value. But there is nothing different like that. We can still change it. Let me go here and I'll take this subcategory. Let me sort it. Now let's use these two for coloring. Let me take this measure and I'll put it in this color. Just observe what will happen. Can you see this? These five, because the chart is getting plotted by the main subcategory. But here I'm using this group so that only these say members which are there, that will get highlighted. Let me remove this and then I'll take this dimension. Now I'll put here. See here what's happening. Here these five are coming into one value, but rest all are actually a separate entity, right? So let me do it again. So I'll take this measure and I'll put it here. See, this will be under one group, and these all is considered as one group. That is why I was getting the value like this. Suppose if you go and put it here, see, this is one different value and this is one different value. But if you go here and take dimension, see, all these are different value and this is one different value, right? So where these grouped members will be available, we'll check that. Let's go to these two. First we'll check this measure, right click and say edit group. Right click, edit group. See, I'll get a dialog box like this where I can see all the members which are grouped. When I'm actually grouping by using measure, what will happen is all the selected members, see, they are into one group. The others, whatever is there, they will become completely another group. This is by measure. Let me cancel this. Now let's see this dimension, edit group. See here, these five members which are selected, they are actually into one group, but rest all will be as is, they'll not get grouped. So that is the difference actually. When I say measures, what will happen is whatever I'm selecting and creating group, that will be a group. Suppose if I'm not creating groups for other members, they all will collect and they'll become one group. Say here like this. If you go here, right click, edit group. See, I created only this group. I selected these 5 members, but I had not created this one. These were all unselected, but they got created as others. Fine. So this is the difference. But still, can we do the changes? Yes, we can do the changes. For that, what we'll do is we'll try to create group in one more way, and then all those 3 ways are similar to edit. So instead of explaining, for all 3 measures to edit it, I'll create one more measure, one more group, and then I'll show you how this can be edited. And editing is done similar to all the way of grouping. Okay, so I'll repeat what I'm trying to do. There is one more way of grouping. I'll just create that. Editing I'll teach so that all the 3 way of creating the groups, editing is done similar way. Right. How to do that? Let me go to this subcategory. We created one group by dimension, one by measure. Now we'll see how to create by members. Right click, and here, can you see this? Here, create group. Can you see this? Create group. I'll click on this create group. Remember, see, right click, when I say edit group, see, I'll get the same window. Here also I'll get the same window, but here I'll not get any group here. Nothing has been grouped, so don't bother. What I'll do is here I'll change the name. I can change the name here. I'll say group by member. Okay. Then I'll tell you why we should create by measure, why we should create by dimension, or why we should create by members. See here, what I'll do is I'll select one of them. Let's say I'll select this. I'll click on this group. Can you see this? Say group. It'll create one group here. I will say group A. I just created one group. Now what I'll do is, see here, this one, this one. I'll just try to move it inside this. See, just drag and drop. That's all. See, now that became group A. I want this too should be in group B, or say we'll take more thing from here till here. I want this to be in group B. Say group. See, you can select and one shot you can send them. Say group B. Now all this, if I leave as is, so these will not be grouped. Suppose if you want, you can still group them as well. Let me leave it as is. Now I'll say okay. See, these 3 groups. Now let me take this members and I'll drag it and I'll put it here. Let me take this sales and I'll put it here. See, let me sort it. See, group B has got more value, so it is coming here. Group A is coming here. See, now if you want to see what all members are available in that particular group, let me put this into table. That will be more easier for me to explain. Say group B, group A, take this, the original field, and put it here like this, or put it here. See, now I'll know group B. Can you see this? These are the members which have grouped. Group A, these are the members have grouped. What will happen if I edit? Let's say I've already created a report. What will happen if I edit? Let's go and see how to edit the group members. Don't worry, I'll summarize again in the end so that you'll not get confused. Let's go here, right click, and I'll say edit group. Let me keep it here. I have group A where I have 3 members, that is these 3. I have group B. See, these are the members I have here. Let's say I'll remove these 2 from the group. Okay, remove. See, just select, right click, and say remove. Right now, can you see this? I removed these fasteners and furnishings from here. Now here in the report it is still showing. Just say apply and see what will happen. See, those 2 came out. So furnishing and fasteners, they came out of these groups. This is I've edited. If you want to add, let's say I'll go here. Let's say I want to add these tables. Right click, add to. It will ask which group I should add. Let's say I'll add to this group here. Now say apply. See, that will come here. So this is how you can edit. Let me go here, I'll say okay, and then let's see the editing for this measure. Take this measure, I'll put it here. Can you see this? Now I have only two members here because they have grouped. Take the sales and I'll put it here. Now let's edit this group. I'll go here, I'll edit. See here, I have this group which says others, which got actually grouped even though I have not grouped it. So I told you, when I'm creating this measures, group by measures, so the group whatever I have created will be created, the rest all will become one group. Now just select this and say ungroup. Just click on this ungroup. See, all these will become, you know, come out of the group. The group is removed. If I say apply, see, now this becomes exactly like what we had in this dimension. See, edit like this. Fine. Now suppose if you want to rename this, see, let me just remove this measure and I'll take this dimension, I'll put it here. See here it says art, envelope, fasteners, so whatever members are there, everything will be added here like this. So I want to rename this. So what I'll do, let's go to this, right click, edit group, and then select this. Either you can double click here, say double click, and you can rename this, or select this and say rename. I will say group new. Just say apply. See here, I had this group which says art, envelopes, and all. So that got replaced with group name. Now you can sort it and see that this is a group. Group means you're trying to group the members so that if any values are very low, so that I can bring it to the other members whatever is there to get the reports. That is one thing. Second thing is, if you want to categorize it, if you want to categorize the members are nothing but the whatever we have here. Say in subcategory, these are the members. If I go here, if you put this, these are the members or items, what we call it as. So if you want to group it based on some values, so it can be grouped by values or say grouped by names or whatever you want in the reports. You can just try to group it so that you can have a customized reports rather than having always all the reports what I have here. Okay, again I'll tell you, grouping can be done by measure, by dimension, and by members. If I group it by measure, if I'm creating a group, that will be created a group, and rest all the ungrouped values automatically it will get grouped. If I'm creating a group by dimension, so whatever I have selected will be grouped and rest all will not be grouped. If you want to group it by members, I just have to go to my field, right click and say create, and if I say a group, then I'll get all the members, then I can select and I can create a group. Okay, so this is actually group. Again, I'm telling you, if you want to create a group, first you have to think why it is necessary. Is it required for me to create these reports? If you think it is required, then go ahead with creating the groups. Fine. Next one, we'll see about set. What is this set? First we'll understand and then we'll start creating the sets. Let me go here. See, already there is one set. I'll just delete this. Fine. Set is very similar to your group, but this will not create an extra column. In group, if you see, there are some extra columns here. When I create a set, it will not create an extra field, but it will create a separate section where I can use it similar to your grouping, but it will not group the values. It will just categorize it. That's all. What I'm trying to say you is, in this group what will happen, it will group the members and it will aggregate it. Aggregate means it's total. See, if I go here and take this dimension, and if I take this sales, just check this. If you go to this group new, it is actually summarizing it. It is giving me the say aggregated values. It is saying sum. But in set, what will happen is whatever I have categorized here, that will not summarize, it will make a list of it. That means I'll get a separate category of the values. Let me just remove this and we'll see. We'll create one set and then you'll understand more about it. Let's go here. Let's say I'll take, we'll take the same category only, so the subcategory, so that it will be easy for me to relate, or we'll take a different field. Let me minimize all this. Let me take this customer and I'll put it here. Okay, see here, I have so many customers, say almost 793 unique customers are there. Let me take the sales value and I'll put it here. See, fine. Now I want to create a separate set where these customers who are actually giving me that, who are making sales, the top 10 customers only. Top 10 customers. What I can do is, let's go here. We'll select this, say right click, and here say create. And here I have something called a set. See, go to this customer or the field where you want to create the set. Right click and say create a set. If I click on this set, see what will happen. I'll get one window like this. It'll ask for the set name. I'll say set by member. Same thing like what we have done. Here I'll say members. Use this, use all. Why? Because it will automatically get selected. Why I'm telling this is, next time when the new data get added here, when more data are getting added here, this will get updated automatically. Okay, now let me go to this top. Say I wanted top, say 10. Click on this by field and here it says top 10. Now when I say top 10, based on which column, let's say I want to get the top 10 by sales and say sum. This is the calculation. Now just say okay. That means what it will do is top 10 by sales, it will aggregate the value. What you see here is the aggregated values. I'll say okay. And now if you see here, see, one set got created. We'll take this and just put it here. See, this is filters. I'll explain this in detail in the next chapter. If you see this, see, I just put this set here. Only this top 10 values will be filtered. I just dragged and put it into filters. Now don't worry about this one. I'll explain this in detail when you come to filter. That is after this session, I'll tell you. See, I got only top 10. Fine, let me remove this. This is one way. Let me remove all this. Let me take one subcategory and then I'll take this sales and then I'll sort it. Similarly, I'll select this like what I did for group. This is by measure. Now move your cursor like this. Can you see this? I have one set here. Previously I selected this. Now I'll select here. Say create set. See, it is trying to categorize. Can you see this? It is not grouping. Previously when I selected, it automatically grouped. Now I'll say set measure and I'll say okay. See, let me click. This is not creating as a separate column. Fine. So where this can be used, let me take this and then I will put it in filters. See, it is not grouping, it is just filtering only these values. Let me remove this category and I'll take this measure and I'll put it here. See, now I'll get only these values. It is not grouped. If I would have taken group, then what will happen? These values will become aggregated. Now it is just filtering only these things. That means set means I'm creating a separate set out of the main values so that I can easily filter this values like this. We take this measure, put it here. See, I'm getting. Right. We'll do one more set, that is by dimension. Let me take this subcategory and then I'll put this sales, and then let me sort it. Let me select this. I'll go here and I'll say create a set. Already there were some sets, so that's why it's saying add to set measure. If I click on this, this will again go and sit in this, but I want to create a new one. See, again it is creating same thing. I'll say set at dimension. Say okay. Now let me take this and I'll put it here. See, I'll get the same result. This is because I'm not grouping anything, I'm just categorizing. So you can either go to the members, that is create a set and use these members to create. I'll create by members also and I'll show you, or I can create by dimension or by measure or members what you have taken this for the customers. I'll show by the subcategory as well, and then I'll come to this customers for more examples of set. Fine. Let me create one more set by members for the subcategory, because we have done the same thing for our grouping so that you can compare it easily. I'll say set, then I'll say members, but I'll say subcategory. Now what I'll do, let me just select. This is static. Static means it will not change. It is not dynamic, it is static. Let me select this. So whatever we have done, these are actually static. These members, what I did, that is actually dynamic. I'll explain you again. See, I'm selecting all this till here. I'm trying to categorize this by members. This is static, that means this is fixed. Now I'll say okay. See, I have one more category here. Now let me remove this. See, I have all the categories here. Let me take this and I'll put it here. See, these are the members which I've taken in this set. This is to filter. Okay, so we saw by members, by measure, by dimension, which are static. Static means like this, which will not actually change, so it will be fixed. What we saw here by using this customer name, that is dynamic. What is dynamic? See here, when I go to this, right click and say edit. So here I've taken top 10. So top 10 can keep varying. Let's say tomorrow some more data get added. When I say some more data get added, what will happen? The values might differ. The top 10 can change. But if you see this one, when I say art, so whatever is there in art, that will go here. But if you see in this case, so what will happen? In this case, the name itself can keep changing because I've not fixed it. Now if you go here, right click and say create a set, and if you would have selected like this, and if I say okay, so these are fixed, the fixed members in this. This is called a static. But what I did, I went to this top and I took this top 10, so that next time if some other sales reps would have done more sales, so they will come on top. That means the members are getting changed. This is one way of using dynamic. Other way is, let me take the same customer name, right click, and then I'll say create. I'll say set, but now I'll create a set based on the condition. Let me go here and say set condition. I'll go to this condition. I'll say by field. Here I had taken top 10. Here I'll say sales sum. I'll say whoever has done the sales greater than, I'll say 25,000. See, whoever has done the sales greater than 25,000, create a separate set. I don't know. See, in this general, there are so many, say some 793, what we saw, so many reps are there. The customer name are there. But I want only those customers who have done sales above 25,000. This is aggregating. That means sum. I will say okay. See, a separate set is created. Now let me remove all this. I will take the customer name here, and I will take this sales here. Okay, now there are so many customers here. Let me take this condition and I'll put it in this filter. See, only one guy is there, only one person. Fine, let's go and edit this. Let's say right click, edit set. I'll make it 15,000. See, let's say apply. Yes, see, that means this value, if it is changing, the members will also get changed. So two things, one is static, other one is dynamic. If the members are fixed, then it is called as static, or we call it as fixed. If the members are changing, that is, I can use condition or by top 10 values, then that will become dynamic. Fine. Okay, let me remove all this. Now whatever we have done, see here, I'm just taking this. Let's say I'm taking this customer name, and then I'll take this sales, and when I'm actually taking this, say any one of this, I'll take this members only and I'll put it here. So I'm getting this members. If you go to this and say or we will edit here only, say edit. See, I'm getting these things. Okay, see, automatically it got selected for use all because it is taking for all the values. Now let's go here and say here I have something called as in, out, and members in the set. If I say, let me take okay, let me take, so we'll do it for this only. Right click, see it says members in the set. To make it more easy, what I'll do is I'll take this subcategory. That will be easy for you to understand. Let me take the dimension one. I'll put it here. See, it says show members in the set. If I go and say edit filter, can you see this? I have this art, whatever. Okay. This is by members. That is, whatever members are there, it will show me. Edit filter is showing the members. But here we also have an option called as in and out. What is this in and what is out? See, in sets there are two categories. Till now what we saw was the members, but there is something called as in and out. What is that in and out? I'll tell you. Whatever members, whatever dimension are there, the members which are categorized, they're called as in. That means they are inside the set. Out, they are something outside, they are not actually inside the set. That means they are out. That is like true or false. Say they are inside means in means they are inside. That means they are inside this set. Say for example, in means set dimension whatever is there, they are inside. Let me go and click on this. I'll say in out of set. Can you see this? Now if I say okay, see, it becomes in out. If you go and click on this and say edit filter, it says in. That means whatever members are there, that will be inside. So you don't have to go and select everything. I'll say okay, so only in is there. Now if you select the subcategory, see, only those inside that say dimension, this set whatever is there, only that will come. Now let me go here and say member in the set. I'll get the members which is showing this one. Now I can go and I can filter. Say I don't want this, I can filter this. But same thing, if I go here and say in and say okay, so whatever are there inside that, that means it will become more easy to just immediately take the members in the list. This is in. So I have two way of showing, that is, one is member in the set, another one is in out. In out means whoever are there, the whichever the members are inside the set, so that will be one category. Whichever are not inside that set, they are outside. That means out. So this advantage of in out I'll show you. If you want all the values, say I'll click on out, say okay, see, I'll get all the members here. This is the advantage here. Suppose I don't want the members who are outside, then go to this members. Say I'll get only the members. Say okay. So you are restricting that so that the out section is not selected. Okay, so this is what we have in set. So just quickly I'll summarize. Set can be created by dimension, by measure, by members. When I create set, that means I'm categorizing the members. I'm creating a set of members. I can use it for anything like filters to, creating the reports, summarizing reports, and all these things I can use it. In set, again, I have two types. One is static or fixed. Other one is dynamic. If you want to go for a static one, then I'll select the members directly. If you want to create it dynamic, either I can give a condition or I can use the top so that the members will become dynamic based on the values getting updated. Okay, so this sets can be used for categorizing and create the reports. Fine. Next one. Next one is about creating bin. This is again a kind of group. Bin is actually used to categorize your, say, values. Let's go here. Let me have this sales, right click, and here I'll say create. Can you see this? I'm getting this bin. Where did I get that? In measure. Let me scroll it down. Let me go here and take any one of the dimension. I'll right click and say create. I'll not find that bin. This is very clear. Bin is actually used in measures only. What is this bin? Bin is nothing but buckets. A bin, bucket. It is grouping according to the buckets. Then why only for measures? Why not for dimension? Let's understand this. I'll give an example. Let's say I have patients. Patients can be from the age 0 to 100. When I say 0 to 100, let's say I have 100 patients. Now I want to categorize. One way I can categorize is I can categorize by their location, by their gender, so many things. But what if I want to categorize the patients by their age? I cannot have a separate columns. When I'm actually capturing the data, I'll capture their age, say but 10 years, say 20 years, say 23, 40, 45, 80, like this. I cannot go and keep creating columns for each field age so that they'll be categorized. So what they'll do, they'll say age. This is the age, this is the column. Now I have to categorize. So all the age is actually number. Now I have to categorize it such a way that from 0 to 10, how many people are there? From 11 to 20, how many people are there? 21 to 30. So likewise, I'm actually trying to categorize the measure, that is the numbers. So for that, what I'll do, I'll have to go here and check the measures for creating the bins. Let me take the sales. Right click. Here I'll say create and I'll say bin. When I click on this bin, see, it will ask size of the bin. I was talking about 0 to 100. Let's say I want my bin to be of 10. Say the value 10, say 0 to 10, 11 to 20, like that. Here the value, the minimum value is 0 and it is going up to say maximum 22,638. So what it is doing, it is trying to create some groups. See here, 447 is the group. That is from 0 to 447, it is creating one group. From 448, then again plus 447, it is creating one more group. Instead, let's say I'll make it 1000 so that it will be easy for us to understand. I'll say 1000 is my bin. So what will happen from 0 to 1000, 1001 to 2000, 2001 to, so likewise it goes on up to 22,000. So what will happen to this 638 which is outside? That will be created in a separate bucket or say bin. Let me say okay. Can you see this? Now this will become a dimension. That means this value will not get converted into dimension. There is a column which gets created as bin, that is a dimension, and you can see the icon here. This will become like a chart. Now let's go here. I'll take this sales and I'll put it here. It will become something very similar to your say other dimension. See, 0, 1000, 2000. It is categorized. This is dimension now. Take this sales and I'll put it here. See, from 0 to 1000. See, this is the sales what I have. Let me remove this. I want to know about let's say how many customers are there who have done the sales. You put it here. See, sorry, customers have to convert this into count. I will take this and put it in label. See, these many counts are there. So let me just repeat again. So this customer is a dimension. If I put it here, what will happen? It will not give me the value. So I have to take it as a count. I'll put it in text. So I'll convert this into count so that it will give me the count. See, from 0 to 1000, there are 9,526 customers. Don't concentrate on this. Just concentrate on this labels, how it is actually, grouping. Bin is again a kind of group which will use your measures to categorize the values. That's all. Where this can be used is, this can be used in histograms, which will help me in categorizing and creating the reports. When you come to this advanced charts, after your formulas and few other sessions, I'll come to this advanced charts. There you'll get this histograms, and again I'll come to this bin. So why I took this topic is because we have this groups and sets, which is very similar to that. I just briefly explained you this, but there is something more what you'll be working. But for that, you have to come to this advanced reports. There again I'll come back to this bins and I'll be explaining you this in the coming sessions. But to brief you, bins are nothing but the measures which are categorized by their values. That is, it is creating some buckets. Okay, fine. Filters. Everyone knows filters means what? Slicing the data. In Excel also we have these filters. I'll say filter. Say if you have a text, then select some text, filter the data, and I'll get the results. Same concept is there in Tableau as well. You can see this filters here. This shelf, what you see, the filters. This will help in filtering the data or slicing the data. It's very simple to understand. There is nothing complex there. How to use these filters? First, we'll see some simple filters and then we'll go for some more complex filters. Let me take this subcategory and I'll put it here. If you see this, just now we saw this set, to create set, I got same kind of window. Here for filters also, I'll get similar kind of window. Here, I will select, say, accessories, appliance, and I selected only these three. I'll say OK. This is the filter what I've applied here. Let me take this subcategory and I'll put it here. And then I'll take the sales and I'll put it here. See, I'm getting only these three values. Now I'll go here. I'll say edit filter. Now I'll select, say, this fasteners, furnishing, and I'll say OK. See, that will get added. This is filters. I'm filtering the members. Fine. Let's see some more options in this. If you want to add some more values here, so what I'm doing, go here and then again say edit filter. I will select this, say OK. This is to add or remove. Let's say I want to remove. I'll go here. I'll try to remove. I'll say OK. So every time I have to go here and I have to do this filters. Let me remove this. We'll create the same kind of reports. Subcategory. I'll take this sales and I'll put it here. Now I have all the subcategories. I want this data to be filtered by regions. If you go here, this is for all the regions. Now let's say I want to filter the data by regions. Previously, what example we saw was just trying to filter these members from subcategories. Now what I'll do is I will take this region and I'll put it here in filters. I want the data only for say East. Say OK. If you see this, the data is getting filtered. Let's say, for example, I'll say I want only for South. Let's say apply. Can you see that? Or say for West, say apply. See, the number of subcategories are same, but the data is getting changed because here I'm trying to filter only for these regions. In the previous example, I was trying to filter the member itself because I had selected the same say field. Let me say OK. Now if you want to change this to central, again I have to go here, say edit filter, I'll say central and I'll remove this, say OK. Every time I don't have to do this, and this is what I'm not going to give to my user. So what should I do to filter these values dynamically? I'll click here. Here I have something called as show filter. Just click on this. See, I'll get a selection here like this. Let me click here on West and see what will happen here. See, I'll remove this center. See, I'll say all. This is complete for all the regions. Let me remove this. See, fine. So we understood that I can use this show filter to get this filter, and here directly I can keep filtering it. Fine. So now what I'm getting here is for each regions. Now let's say I'll go here, I'll remove this subcategory and I'll take this state. Let me put this state. See, there are so many values here. Let me convert this into chart. Say like this. If you go and check this, see, there are almost how many? 49 records. You can see this, say 49 rows. But let me remove this. I'll deselect all and I'll select central. See, I'll get only those states for central. Now remove this, say east. Fine. This is actually called as checkbox. The controls what I have here is the multi-selection. We call it as multi-selection here. I can do this. But it's occupying a lot of space. What if I can change this to a drop down? The control what I have here is for checkboxes. I don't want this checkbox. Let's say I want to select one of them. That means only one region I can select. My requirement is I can select only one region. Then I cannot use this. I cannot tell my client to select this. Say, suppose if it is select all, I cannot say my client, okay, you go and select the central, select this and then remove this. This is actually not correct. So how to do that? Just move your cursor on this say filter here. See, click here and here I have so many options. First we'll go to the single value. See, here it is saying multiple values. I'll say single value. See, now click on this. See, only one selection I can do. This is called as option button. Single selection. See, fine. Now let's go here. I don't want this list. This is called as list. So I have a list with single selection. I don't want list. I'll take this drop down. See, it becomes drop down like this. See, fine. Let's go here. I'll click again. I have this single value slider. Slider means I can slide like this. See, you can see the value coming here. So likewise, I have different say options. Let's say I want to drop down, but I want multi-selection. Click on this. Say here like this. So this filters whatever is there. I can say show filter, which will help me in getting this filters. Fine. Let me go select here. So still I have this custom list or say wildcard. Wildcard is nothing but I can type the value and I can search. Right? Okay. Let's click outside. Now I understood how this simple filters work. I just drag it here, then say show filter. I'll get this control. This is called as card actually. So here I'll get the drop down or say any other controls. I can change this. Let me make it as drop down here, single selection. Fine. Now let me remove this state, and I will take this subcategory again and I'll put it here. So now whatever state I'm selecting here, say here, I'm getting the region what I'm selecting here, I'll get the value based on that. Let me go here and I'll take this state. See the state, I'll put it here. So what I want is, let me say select all. What I want is whatever region I'm selecting, in that whatever state I'm selecting, I should get the result based on that. Go here, I'll say show filter. See, I'll get the region and state. You can just drag this and put it down here like this. Now let me go here and say central. See here, I'm getting only those values which are there in central. Let me say south. Here I'll get only south state. How is this happening? That is happening because this value, whatever is there, it is there in this hierarchy. If the value is in hierarchy, I'll get the filters like this. Suppose whatever region I'm selecting, only those states for this region will be filtered. But let me remove this. I will say remove hierarchy. Okay. Now you see what happened. I'll go here to select all. Here I'll say select all. Now all the region and all the states have been selected. Now let me select this central. See, this will not get filtered. Now suppose if I go and select any one of them, see, I'll not get the result because I don't know which all states are there in central. So understand one point. If I want to create the filters by hierarchy, then this should be under hierarchy. Then only I can filter the say values, say from one field to another field. Hope you have understood. So if I click on south, I should get only south states here. But what's happening here? The first scenario, when I had created this hierarchy, I was getting the result. That is, I was getting the filtered states. But now I'm not getting. But what should I do if I have not created? So not everywhere I can create the hierarchy. There are some situations where I cannot create the hierarchy because the reports won't support. In that case, what should I do? Let's go here. See here, I have all values in the database, only relevant values. Let me go here. Here also I'll have this only relevant values. So if it is in hierarchy, it will automatically take it as hierarchy. Let's say only relevant values. See, I just selected here. I mentioned only relevant values. Now what will happen is, though it is not in hierarchy, here let me go and select the central. See, this way also I can use to filter the next level of filters. Let me repeat again. I'll remove this. Hide card means it will get removed. I'll go here. I'll say show filter. See, just put it, drag it down. Now select here. See, I have this all values in the database. The first one, let it be like this only, because first filter I'm not going to filter any values here based on any higher level. The next level, whatever is there, go here and select only relevant values. If this is not selected, if only this is selected, all values in the database, so what will happen? See, I'll get all the values, wherein if this state is there in west, then it is fine. See, I'll go here, this is not that, so you might not get the result. Let me go here. I'll click on this state, the arrow here, and say only relevant values. Now it will get filtered based on this relevant values. This control also I can change. See, I can go here, I can make it drop down. See, I'll go say east, then I'll select this like this. So I can have multiple controls like this. This is one way of filtering. And if you have multiple values, then make sure that one is, it should be in hierarchy, so that you'll get the filtered values for the next level. If it is not there, so don't have to bother, go here and say only relevant values. Fine. Next step, let me take this customer and I'll put it here. What we saw was here this one, that is by selecting any of these values and filter. Suppose I want to filter all the values where all the customer name where the name starts with A. So for that, how we can do? I'll go here. I'll say wild card. Click on this wild card. See here I have these options: contains, starts with, ends with, exactly matches. I'll say contains. If I say contains, the name can be anywhere. Let's say I'll go here. I'll say ARE. The names, the customer name should have ARE anywhere in their name. I'll say okay. See here I have this filter. Let me take this customer name and I'll put it here. See, if you go and search here, somewhere, wherever, say somewhere or the other, that ARE will be available here. Fine. Let me go and edit this. I'll say starts with. If I say starts with A, see, all the names which starts with A will come here. This is called as wildcard. Say edit filter. Say ends with, let's say ES. Say okay. See, all the name which ends with ES will come. Fine. This is one way of filtering. Next, we'll see how we can filter this by condition. Let me take this customer name and I'll put it in this filter shelf. Now let's go to this condition. Now here I'll say field. We'll take this sales and it says sum. Here we'll take anything greater than, let's say 15,000, and I'll say 30. Now let's take this customer name and if you put it here, any sales above 50,000 will be filtered here. Let's take this sales and I'll put it here. Say this. Fine. Let's go and edit this. Edit filter. And if you go to this condition, let me make it as 10,000 and I'll say okay. See, any value about 10,000 will be filtered here. So let's sort this and see. See, all the value about 10,000 will be filtered here. This is another way of using filters. Yes, we'll see how to filter by this top 10. Again, I'll go here. See here I can filter it by top 10, that is sales, and sum of this, say top 10. Let's take this customer name. See, I'm getting this top 10 here. Then I can take this sales value and I'm putting it right. Okay, so this is how we can actually filter the text part, or say we can say this dimension, or we can say it's a text part. Now let's see how I can filter the values by date. Let me take this. We have order date. Let me take this order date and I'll put it here. Okay, see here I have, say, relative date, range of dates, and some say grouped dates. Let me take one of this range date or relative date. Say next. Here it will ask for different options. So what we'll do, we'll go here, just say okay. As of now it says relative date, range date, starting date, ending date, and special. Now let's say relative date. I'll say okay, just don't do anything. Let's keep this date. Now let's take this date, or we'll take this subcategory only. Easy, because there are so many dates there. I'll take the sales value. Things now getting okay. Let's take this date. Okay, say okay. See, now let me go here and say edit filter. Here we'll say range of dates. That means from one range to another range. So it says from 1/3/2015 to 12/30/2018. Let me just drag this, or I can make it as, say, 1st Jan 2018. Okay, let's say or we'll just take this. See, we're moving like this. The values are getting updated. That is depending on the range of values. Now here I have the starting date and ending date. Let's say I'll click on this start date. The start date is actually fixed. See, but the ending date. So here the start date I can change. See, the end date what you see, that is the maximum date what I have in that database. See, let me say okay. So it will get filtered. Now let me go here, say edit filter. Suppose if you want ending date, see here, customize this ending date. I'll go and I'll say okay. So the ending date is filtered. Now suppose if you want this to be as a filter, say show filter, see, I can take this like this. You can slide the date to get the result based on from this date to this date. Now here, if you go, see, I have the different controls here. Let's say I'll go and I'll select this range of dates. See, the start date and the end date. You can fix it like this. So depending on these dates, the data whatever is there, that will get filtered. Right. So here I have one more something called as relative dates. So what is relative dates will do? See, I was not getting the result here because I had selected here as today. There is no today's date. That's why it was not coming. Let me go to this years. Here I have this, say this year. I have the data till 2018 only in this database. So it will not come for this year. See, it says 1 month 2020 to 12/31 2020, wherein this data is not there. So what we'll do is we'll go here, we'll say last 3 years data. So it says 1 month 2018 to 12/31 2020. If I go and click on this, see all the data for last 3 years I'll get here. Let me click here. I'll say edit filter. If you go and check this, I'll go to this quarter, say last 3 quarters, or I can mention here how many ever quarters I need per month. So if you want by month, I can go and select this, say weeks or days. So depending on the filters what you want to say, years or quarter, whatever, you can select here and then you can filter the data. Okay, so you can click here. See, if you click here, I can see the date here. See quarters. So here from which date to which date. So this is the relative. That means I can select whichever quarter I need. Say previous quarter means the previous quarter data. This quarter means this quarter. Since I don't have the data here for 2020, so I might not get the results here. In case if you have the data, then you can directly click here, or you can go and you can customize here. Fine. Next, we also have something called as year to date. So year to date is called as the YTD. Suppose if you want to filter the data, say from January 1st till now, then you can use this year to date. Similarly, I have this QTD, MTD, and say WTD, that is weeks to date. You can use this for filtering the data. Okay, fine. Next, let me remove this date and I'll put this date again. Here I have this aggregated dates. Go here, click on this years. Say what will happen is it will aggregate, say 2015, 16, 17, 18. And if I say okay, see now here edit filter, let me select 15, 16, 17, 18 and say okay. See, same thing like what I did. Say show filter, so I want 15 data, 16, or you can go here and take this drop down, say 15, 17, 18. You can do something. Okay, so same thing. Suppose if you want to take for quarters or months or days or whatever, say I want to filter for quarters, just go here, see quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. You can use the filters like this. So this is for dates. So for text we saw, we can go and we can filter based on the text. Then we saw about date. Now we'll see about the numbers. When I say I want to filter by numbers, let me take one of the value in measure and I'll put it in. See here it says all values, and then here I have aggregated values as well. Let me select this all values and say okay. See here what it will do is it will take the minimum value and the maximum value. Let's say okay, I have this filter. Let me take, say, customer, then I'll take this sales. Now I'll go here, say edit filter. Let me just drag this. Here I say up to 10,000. And if I say, okay, all the values which are there here from say this value to 10,000, it will get filtered. Okay. But just observe here, I mentioned it as 10,000, but here I'm getting 14,000 or say, 9,000, everything I'm getting here. Anything about 10,000 also I'm getting here. So in this case, what I'm actually doing is, see, I'm trying to filter, say, edit filter. I'm saying 0.444 to 10,000. This 10,000 is nothing but individual values. Say this guy, say Adrian Barton, can have more records with say 7,000 or say 3,000. Okay, so what value I'm getting here is aggregated values. This one is aggregated value, but for his individual value there might be less than 10,000 values. So how to actually handle this? So what we have to do is, I'll go here and I'll say edit filter, or we'll remove this and show you beginning. Take this sales, don't take this all values, take this sum, because I'm taking this sum and I'm filtering on that. Say next, I'll get the same thing, same options. But can you see this? This become aggregated now. Previously it was 0.444 something. Let's say okay. Now I'll go here, try to filter, say till 10,000 and say okay. See, now I'll get till 10,000 only, because the filters what I'm doing now here is for aggregated values, not for all values. Let's go here. See, at least means the maximum value will be fixed. See here, this value I can change however I want. Let's say, for example, I want all the values above 50,000, 15,000. Say okay. See, these are the three records which are above 50,000 till the maximum value. Edit filter, we will say at most, means see here I can specify the maximum value. Let's say at most I want up to 20,000. Say okay. See, all the values up to 20,000 you will get. Here also I can go here and say show filter. Can you see this? I can use this. Here I can select this at most range of values like this. So depending on your requirement, say I want it by a grouped values, aggregated values, or I want a single values, so you can select that as well. So these are actually some of the filtering techniques. Okay, so when I want to filter a data, so this again will come back with more options. So that is because when you're creating reports, we have to keep filtering the data. There is something called as advanced filters or action filters that will try to do once we finish these formulas and try to understand creating the reports, the advanced reports. There I'll tell you how to use this action filters as well. Okay, then we also have some animated filters, that is for the pages. So that also I'll explain when we come to this advanced charting techniques. So these are the options what we have in our filters. So to summarize, I'll just explain you when I'm using these filters. So I have to use this shelf where I have these filters. Filters can happen based on text, based on numbers, and based on dates. When I say I want to filter based on text, either I can use I can filter the data by directly selecting, or I can filter by wildcards or conditions, or by top 10s. If I'm actually using multiple filters, suppose if I'm using say region, and then say state, say multiple filters, then one way is I can say show filter. One way is I can create the hierarchy and I can filter this state. Otherwise, I'll go here and I'll say only relevant values to filter this selected. So we call it as dependent filters, wherein I can filter one value by another value. The next we learned about the date. The date means either I can have individual dates or I can give the grouped dates as well. Then we learned about the numbers, where I can filter the numbers based on the aggregated values or say individual values as well. Okay, so this is what we have in our session today. Thank you all for watching this video. If you like this video, please like and share. And if you still not have subscribed to our channel, please subscribe for more interesting videos like this. Thank you.